This is for Year 10 Methods Pathways. We're going to look at the Tech Analogy Allowed exam. So you're allowed to use a calculator. We'll start with the questions. So the angle, okay, so we want to add these angles together and we want to find the result of it. Okay, so this is in degrees mid-second, so you have to go to the DMS tool. Oops, you have to go to DMS tool, so you're going to go here. So we've got 22.07 and we're adding to 12 degrees 58 minutes. So that's 35 and we want it, so it's 35.04, so the answer is B. The value of y is, this is the adjacent and that's the hypotenuse, so cos of 23.5 equals adjacent of hypotenuse. So we want, we know y equals 10 divided by cos of that. So 10 divided by cos of 23.5 gives me 10.9, which is A. Question 3. Circular geometry question. The value of t in the circle is... Now, I know that these are tangents to the circle, so they're 90 degrees. I know quadrilaterals add up to 360. So if I go 360 minus 90 minus 90 minus 40, I should get what my t equals to. So t equals to. Do it on a CAS calculator. Don't try to outsmart yourself by doing by hand, because you're allowed a calculator, so use it. 140. So 140 degrees. So the answer is E. Question 4. The arc going to the center, the angle going to the center, the angle going to the outside of the same arc. So this is half of this, so, well, this is half of, this is half of this, so this would be 60 degrees, so this is double. So angle going to the center and the angle going outside is, one's double the other, so the one going to the center is double the one going outside, so that has to be 60 degrees. So the value of x and y are, alright, so again, this is, we've got an arc here, okay, and we've got one arc going to the outside, one arc going to the other arc going to the outside, and one arc going to the outside. So 3 arcs are going to the outside, meaning that they're all the same. So that must be 40, that must be 40, that must be 40. So x and y must be 40. So the answer is E. Question 6, the number of solutions. Now, we haven't really learnt this, and I think there's a problem with it's missing next year. Okay, just be aware of that. Some solutions, you do need to get something called the discriminant. We won't go over that in details because we didn't cover it, so I'm just going to skip that question. Question 7, the determinant of W is, so go on your calculator, type in the matrix. So we've got 0.6, 0.5, 0.4, 0.5, highlight it, go interactive, matrix, calculation, det. So the determinant is 0.1. Question 8, x inverse. So x, no, again, you do it in calculator. We don't want to do this by hand and make a mistake. So we've got 3, 5, 4, 6, and I just want to find the inverse, so it's a power of -1. And they have it in decimal, it doesn't matter, they have it in decimal, 83, 2.52, -1.5, so it's the answer is B. 3x cubed, okay, so all you need to do is use a calculator. You go 3x, so x is just this, I'm going to copy and paste, drag and drop, 3. So the answer should be A. Go down. which of the following matrix is defined? So you got to physically check. Whoops, got to go check. Well, we can u plus v. Can u add to v? U cannot add to v, so that's not going to be defined. You can't find the inverse of u plus v because u plus v doesn't exist itself. V minus x, v minus x, that won't work either because dimensions are different. W minus x squared, so w minus x squared, that could work actually. Let's just, well, the determinant of x, let's see what the determinant of x is. Let's check whether it can have an inverse, because it hinges on whether x itself can have an inverse. So let's see if the inverse of x exists. It does. Okay, so most likely C is the answer. Let's check whether d works. So u plus y squared. U plus y squared. No, it's not going to work because the dimensions are different. You can't add things of different dimensions together. V squared minus v. V squared minus v. You can't square a non-square matrix, so that's not correct. So the answer is C. Alright, short answer extended response questions. Now, find the angle of BAD. Give reason for your answer. So BAD is this angle here. Well, we know that is 90 degrees because the side BD is the diameter of circle. Therefore, the angle subtended by arc in center is 180 degrees. So therefore the angle subtended by arc going to circumference is half of that, which is 90 degrees. Okay. So find the angle CBD. CBD is CBD. CBD is this angle here. Alright, let's think about this. This is a sausage triangle, and I know this is a straight line, so this must be 110 degrees. Okay. So that must be 110 degrees. So these angles, this angle, this and that has to add up to whatever's left over, which is 70 degrees. So that must be 35 degrees. Okay, because 35 plus 35, 70, 70 plus 110 is 180. Because triangles have to add up to 180. Next question, find the major arc, correct to of AC. Okay, so major arc means this all the way around here. And we know that that's 76 degrees, so we'll just go 360 minus 76, because that gives you the angle here, all the way here, divided by 360 times by the circumference of the circle. So this is the portion of the circumference of the circle we want. So the circumference of the circle is 2 pi r, 18. So let's work that out on our CAS calculator. So go use the fraction 360 minus 76 divided by 360. Oops. Times 2 pi r, which is 18. So 2 decimal places, 89.22. Please pay attention to units of decimal place. And that's well, we're not given any units, so we'll just leave it like that. But if it's in centimeters, right centimeters. The area of the minor sector, so of CPB is this sector here. Okay, so the angle is 60 degrees out of 360 times the area of the circle, so it's pi r squared. So go 60 divided by 360, pi 18 squared. 169.65. 169.65. 169.65. And if it's in centimeters, let's assume in centimeters, this will be centimeters squared. I'm just putting units just so that you understand how to use units. And make sure you round properly, okay? Because you don't want to get deducted a mark for not knowing how to round. Consider the following diagram. Find the values of P and Q. Okay. So for this one, well, P is simple because this is an isosceles triangle. So go 180 minus 88, and the two other angles are the same, so you divide by 2. That's 46 degrees. So P equals 46 degrees. And Q, let's find out what Q equals to. Now, I know that... Okay, what do I know? I've got to check what information I actually have. Well, I know that this is a quadrilateral inscribed inside a circle, okay? Meaning the opposite sides of the quadrilateral angles add up to 180, okay? This already took up 122, so what's left over for the other side would be 180 minus 122. So that's 58 degrees. So this angle here is 58 degrees, this whole angle there. Now we already know P is 46 degrees, so Q must be 58 subtract 46, which equals, so go 58 subtract 46 gives you 12 degrees. Okay, so that's how you work it out. Okay, so you needed to use two theories here. Question 14, it's a simple Socrates question. So this is the adjacent side, this is the hypotenuse side. So cos, so it's cos 34 degrees 30 minutes equals adjacent over hypotenuse. So y equals 3.19 times cos 34 degrees 30 minutes. Let's work that out on a calculator. 3.19 times cos. Now I'm going to have to use degrees a minute second, so go back to maths 1, type that in. 34 and 30. You leave the seconds blank because you don't have any. So it's 2.63. 2.63 units, please. So meters. Okay, don't forget units. Find the unknown angle to the nearest. Okay, so that's adjacent. That's hypotenuse again. So it's a car scenario. So cos of theta equals adjacent over hypotenuse, 16.3. So theta equals inverse cos of 4.5 divided by 16.3. I do advise you to write your working out, because if you get the answer wrong and I've got nothing there, then you'll get 0 for the question. Okay, so just be careful. So go inverse cos 4.5 divided by 16.3. Make sure in degree mode. 70, it says the angle to the nearest degree minute second, so you've got to change that to DMS. Okay, so just copy and paste it onto here. Click enter. So 73 degrees, 58 minutes, and 26 seconds. 73, 58, 26. 58 minutes and 26 seconds. Okay. So make sure you read what the question wants to present your answer in. Otherwise, you'll lose a mark. That's not worth it. Find the value of x and y, correct to 2 decimal places. Now, in order to get x, I need to find out what the missing two sides are first. Okay, so I'm going to have to use a bit of Pythagoras. Okay, so I know that we'll call that y, we'll call that y. That's a right angle triangle. So we know that a squared plus b squared equals 3 squared. So I need to solve for y. So 2y squared equals 3 squared. Divide both sides by 2. 3 squared divided by 2. So y equals square root of 3 squared divided by 2. So let's work out what y is. So square root of 3 squared, which is 9 divided by 2. 2.1213. 2.1213. And so we've got another triangle here, x, 24 degrees 15 minutes, and got 2.1213. Opposite hypotenuse, so it's sine or soc. So sine of 24 degrees 15 minutes equals opposite 2.1213 divided by x. So x equals 2.1213 divided by sine 24 degrees 15 minutes. And you want x in two decimal places, so there's a lot going on there, I know, but sometimes you just got to do it, okay? So this divided by, for accuracy, I'm copying the whole value. This divided by sine 24 degrees 15 minutes. Sine 24 degrees 15 minutes, and I get 5.16. 5.16 doesn't have units, so you can't put in units, unfortunately. That should be your answer. Keep going. Okay, an observer is standing on a hill, on a cliff hill, that's 20 on a 20-meter high cliff, and sees a hot air balloon. The angle of elevation from the top of the cliff to the hot rate. Okay, it's changing. Alright, so it's changing a bit, and observers draw a label diagram of the situation. Okay, so let's digest what's going on. So observers standing on top of a hill which is 20 meters high and sees a hot air balloon. Okay, so it says hot air balloon. Okay, so we've got two scenarios here. The hot air balloon's here, and the observer is seeing the hot air balloon. Okay, so that's a hot air balloon. Okay, and it's 27 degrees at 7 a.m. and then it goes up to 61 degrees. So the balloon rises up here. That's 61 degrees at 7:03 a.m. The observer is 300 meters horizontally from the hot air balloon. So the observer is 300 meters away from there. Okay, so you need to draw a diagram, something like that. It doesn't need to be, a Picasso piece, but it has to be functional. You have to show what you understand. Okay, so how high has the balloon risen from 7 a.m. to 7:03 a.m.? Okay, so I know that I've got two right angle triangles. One right angle triangle is 27 degrees, that's at 7 a.m. and the other right angle triangle is at 61 degrees, and that's at 7:03 a.m. And we know that this is 300 meters at the bottom. So to get the height, you just go y and x. If I subtract y from x, I get how far it's risen. So let's range this. This is going to be tan ratio, TOA. So tan of 27 degrees equals opposite divided by adjacent. So x equals 300 tan 27 degrees. Again, you set up a tan scenario, so tan of 61 degrees equals opposite divided by adjacent. Y equals 300 tan 61. So if I subtract y minus x, I should get my answer. I'm going to do it in one step so I don't have to do a gazillion working steps. So you just go 300 times tan 61 minus 310.27, and I get 388.36. So 388.36 meters. Okay, meters here. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's in meters. Assuming the constant speed, calculate the assuming constant speed, calculate the speed in meters per second at which the balloon is rising. Now, from 7 and 7:03 a.m., that's 3 minutes. In 3 minutes, it's risen 388.36 meters. So we know speed is distance divided by time. The distance is 388.36 meters, and the time is 3 minutes. So if I were to convert that to meters per second, then you have to divide by, you have to go 388.36. Now there are 60 seconds in a minute, so you just go times 60. So let's work out what that is. We go 388.36. I'm going to actually use the previous answer as a whole. You're going to divide it by 3 times 60. So it's 2 points. To decimal place, 2.16. 2.16 meters per second. Okay, so you've got to be careful with the units. How high is the balloon from ground level at 7:03 a.m.? Now, if I look back at the triangle, 61 degrees, that was my y, and that was my 300. We know that y equals 310 or 61 degrees. Now, how high from the ground? Now, you know, at the start, we were traveling on top of a cliff. If we look back here, there was a cliff, so the height would be your total height, okay, at 7:03 a.m. So you need to add y to, and you add, the cliff was how high? Let's check how high it was. 20 meters. So whatever your answer was, you need to add 20 meters. So height of the balloon at 7:03 a.m. would be 310.61 plus 20 meters. So 310.61 plus 20. So 561.21. 561.21. So 561. 561. All right, here 561.21 meters. Okay. At 7 a.m. the balloon falls 120 meters. What is the angle of elevation to 1 decimal place from the top of the cliff now? Okay, so the balloon has now fallen 120 meters. We want to find the angle of elevation. Okay, so we know that that's my feeder. I know this is 300. Now it's fallen 120 meters. So if I work out what my height is at 7:03 a.m., which is 310.61, that's 541.21 meters. So if I subtract 120 meters now, it's now 421.21 for free. 421.21 for free. So feeder equals inverse tan. Inverse tan of, because it's opposite adjacent, 421.2143 divided by 300. So we'll work out what that angle is. Oops. What that angle is. So inverse tan. Go trig inverse tan. 421.2143 2143 divided by 300. Whoops, divided by 300. You should get your angle, which is one decimal place, 54.5 degrees. 54.5 degrees. Okay, let's go down. Okay, so this is a matrix question in a ball game. Okay, shoots points. Okay, so what do we want? We want a matrix to show the number of each type of successful shot Oscar shows in a game. Okay, so let's read this question carefully. In a basketball, a successful shot fills 1 point, 2 point, 3 point, depending on the position of the ball. Column should list the number of scores for each type of shot. In one game, Oscar was successful with 4 shots for a goal, 8 shots for a goal, 8 2-point shots for a goal, and 3 shows the number of each type of shots. Okay, so it's just 4, 8, and 2. Okay, so your N would be 4, 8, and 2, like this. Matrix P is found by multiplying N and G. So N would be 4, 8, and 2, and G would be 1, 2, and 3. So let's multiply it using the matrices tool. Now we've got to interpret it later, that's the hard part, okay? So you've got to understand what's going on. 4, 8, and 2. They've got 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, and 3. So it's 26. Now, what does it ask you? What in context? What does the P represent? Remember what's going on here. You're timesing the row of the column to get 1 by 1. So go 4 times 1 plus 8 times 2 plus 2 times 3. What this gives you is the total number of points scored by Oscar. Okay, because what you're doing is, we know that a 1 point shot is worth 1 point. So you go, he scored 4, so you go 4 times 1 here. He scored 8 2-point shots, and he scored 3 2 3-point shots. So we add them together, you get the total score, which is 26. So that's what the matrix multiplication actually does. Now, very last question. This is a take aloud question where we're putting things into a CAS calculator. So we've got a javelin, and he's throwing, or Marita is trying to throw this javelin, and it's going to be a quadratic. So what you're going to do is draw the quadratic on your CAS calculator. Now there's 2 ways you can do it. You can do it on the graph menu. I'll just do it on my graph menu just to make it, less complicated. So you're going to go keyboard, go to fraction button, and put -1 divided by 15 x. We're not going to use d. We're going to use x squared. Squared plus 8.5. Tick it, graph it, and make sure your window is adequate to show the graph. So I'm just going to go zoom standard, and we can see the path of the javelin, so it looks something like that. And we're going to have to draw the key points. So I'm going to get my I'm going to draw my graph. It's roughly going to look like this, but we've got to make sure I label all the points. It's going to look like that. Okay, so we need to label all our points. Let's see what our y-intercept is. So analysis, G-solve y-intercept. Oops, it's not found because we're not showing it on a graph, so just be careful. Maybe we'll zoom out a bit, just so we can see everything. So analysis, G-solve y-intercept. So 1.83. 3 there. The maximum would be my max. And happens at 10, 1.8.5. So that's 10, oops, draw this more neater, 10, 8.5, and my x-intercept, Nelson's G-solve root, would be, don't want the first one because that's in the negative region, 21.29 and 0, 21.29, so that's 21.29, 0, okay. Alright, let's answer the question, what's the maximum height above the ground the javelin reaches? So it's 8.5 meters. What is the horizontal distance does the javelin travel before reaching the ground? So 21.29 meters, because that's how far it's traveled. From what height did Marta release the javelin? So 1.83, because that's the Y-intercept, that's where she threw it. That's height which she threw it. Okay, Marta's friend has a task of retrieving the javelin once landed. She's 150 centimeters tall and is standing 21 meters away from Merida. She does not think Merida can throw the javelin this far, however, the javelin appears to be heading straight for her. Does she need to move to avoid this? Give reasons for your answer. So, the only way to figure out whether, she can avoid the javelin is to work out at 21 meters. So if we calculate the height at 21 meters, let's see if it's above or below 150. Okay, so I'm going to have to use xcal, ycal. So I want to find the height at 21 meters, because she's standing 21 meters from Merida, where she's through the javelin. So at 21, she's 0.43 meters high. Okay, so at a distance of 21 meters, the javelin is 0.43 meters high. So she does need to move. She does need to move. She does need to move to avoid the javelin. Okay, she does need to move because what's happening here is the javelin's here. She's standing here, and she's actually taller than the path of javelin. So what's happening here is she's going to get impaled potentially if she doesn't move. So just interpret the scenario and write an explanation. Make sure you put in data so that I know what you're saying is backed up by something. Otherwise, I can't give you the marks. So you have to say yes, no. She does need to move, and back up the data was to y. Okay, so it's 0.43 meters is 43 centimeters. 43 centimeters, well, she's 150 meters tall, so you'll hit her in possibly the leg or something like that. So hopefully that helps you get a grasp of how to do the tech allowed section.